Welcome to the PGL Open Bucharest. It is Championship Sunday, which means we're going to crown our second minor champion of a very long season ahead. Just a reminder for you, this is the Dota 2 professional circuit, a minor for $300,000 here in Bucharest this weekend, and crowning that second champion means an awful lot to the teams, not only for money, but points on the line as well, on the long road to the International 2018. We've had a fantastic tournament so far. 3 fantastic days already in the history books. 4 teams remain, 2 semi-finals and a grand final ahead of us today. But before we get to talk to that, let's talk back about day number 3, which was explosive.
Previously on the PGL Open Bucharest.
Ace has just been farming. Haven't talked about him nearly enough this game.
There goes the Eclipse. They've caught mid one. What a big kill that could be. Fuel Scepter, they're still going to be able to get him on the way down. He may have popped the Shrine, but he's still going to die to the nuke damage.
For them.
This is a really good fight. Singer is trying to get away with TP out. Ace is going for the kill, but a nice kick from Schofield, which also nails 3 other heroes. What a big play. Papito's going to be able to slow him down. They found their moments. Infamous. They've got 2 with Rubik caught. It's going to be a third triple kill for Kataro. Okay, this guy's got Aegis, so they're going to have to try and blow him up without using any big spells, and they are going to throw out the Echo Slam, actually. The Ice Path catching up mid one, misses out on the kick, but it does manage to hit Puppey as he comes out from his ultimate, immediately managed to get the disable onto Kataro. Oh, Furia, looks like he came in from behind. That's no good. Ace is going to be able to go straight for Schofield, and now he throws out the Blood Right with a Rupture on top. They've kited this poor Kataro so much, he finally pops a BKB, but it's a bit too late. When they're always getting kills, they have a numbers advantage. There's really no time that they're going to be punished. Oh, no.
You say that.
Why?
Secret, absolutely dominant. More than a kill a minute, more than 1,000 a minute. They're going to take this game 2-0.
With a catapult wave on the bottom as well, this tier 2 tower is almost gone, and VGJ, they bring Kama down to the bottom lane to start the defense, and Na'Vi initiate instantly, looking for the conquer. The paralyzing cast going to cause problems, and with no mass surplus, with no heavy damage, they'll lose the conquer, and there's no quick follow-up. In fact, they're just dropping like flies now. VGJ, so much being lost. Ember has to do some serious lifting. The Vac hasn't done enough, and Kama, he's caught on the wrong side. That diffuser blade is just making it impossible for him to fight. He's able to keep up with those fast pumping legs. Kama cannot make it back to the Radiant Shrine to regenerate, and Na'Vi with a huge fight, and VGJ are fully on the run. Well, whoever can still run is alive to do so. Ember Spirit into the tree line. Well, dodge at least the Orb of General, but how do you get further away from this? Double Searing Chains will help. The Lance from Crystallize, he lost the vision quickly. Underneath the tower, Na'Vi begin to dive. Yang will give the surge, but it just gets purged off by a Diffusal Charge. And Ember Spirit can't run out this one. Sylar will come in, the wall is down, while Phantom Lancer trapped in the tree. Saneko walks in underneath the tower with practically no life. He's getting into position for this. Death Prophet comes in, has a fresh rod of Atos plus Exorcism available. Rolling Boulder in the 3-man silence. Ice Blast will hit him, but the damage with Magnetize and the blink in from Death Prophet. The spirits are in the right place at the right time on the right back channel. They'll take 3, looking for a 4th. The 4th can be Roshan, the 5th can be Roger. Fate will find the kill. Three-man smoke. Roger's giving the vision they need. They have a Sentry Ward down as well. Spirit gonna walk straight into it while the Blink Lasso keeps the Ricky control. General hook shots in, and the Con Pusher. Disruptor, he'll get the Storm down, but not before Crystallize has a double kill. Looking over towards Silence, the Silence holds him there. Crystallize with a triple kill. BKB gave him all the immunity he wanted. Hook shot him. They're going to go in onto Sylar. And we just have the Aegis, the Immortal with the lasso. A nice pullback of the Troll Warlord still inside the Storm. Yang's going to pull him back in again. So the side's committed. It was all about control time. Roger will join him in the afterlife. Dendy, the BKB is now wearing off. No more immunity. And VGJ can turn their attention towards him. The Mirana will fall. 3 heroes down without buyback, and it looks like, well, you can say don't give up, but Na'Vi give up. GG, VGJ Thunder will eliminate Na'Vi from the PGL Open, advancing through into the final game today as Na'Vi's run ends.
Spirit Breaker can control him with a charge and a Nether Strike.
Oh, wait, over to the side, they jump in, they blow up one Febby already gone, but the Static Storm is now down onto all the meatballs. QO getting control to the tower. Are they going to be able to blow up? No, not quite. Ace is walking away from there. They do finally bring him down, but the damage might have already been done. He is out for 80 seconds, though, and this is the battle. It's going to help to decide the game. They get the Boundless Strike already out. There's also going to be the Thunder God's Wrath. Febby force-staffed away. QO turning to fight, but he's already used his BKB charge. They can't stick around here now, and with Fada chasing, he's going to have a coil available. He jumps forward. They get the Hex. It's a good Static Storm down, but Meatball already deals so much damage with the right clicks. Level 25. He's got all of the health in the world, and they're all going to get torn up. They never stood a chance. And Ace get out of here alive. Can they continue to take the fight themselves? Immortals show up. Fonta's here as well. Puppy's gone. But are they going to be able to find any more? The big Boundless Strike connecting. Fonta's down. And now Ace trying to run away. They've got the damage. And with the track bouncing, it's hitting. That's Yapzor dead as well. This might just be the death of them if they walk out here. Two Blue in the area. They've got the Winter's Curse. This is a terrible fight for Secret. Are they going to be able to get out of here in a way? It doesn't quite look like it. The chase for Yapzor already gone, and now Mid One left completely alone. They take down Puppy. They take down absolutely everybody. They do get off a Reaper's Sight, but Dubu is a liver. That is the Terrorblade gone for 80 seconds. One more couple of kills, and GG is called as Immortals are going to be moving on in this tournament.
Instantly Hex, Master was down, Abyssal Blade control, the Jet for True side, lost from EG, but the coil is perfect, locking down the back line of Evil Geniuses, and the rest of them come over, trigger the Lincoln Spear, over on Lone Druid, but Arteezy stands his ground, but can he do it for much longer? He can when Samael is there, holding his hand, the Magnetize will wear off, but Lone Druid's so low. And Universe instantly Hex, Master was down, Abyssal Blade control, the Jet for True side, lost from EG, but the coil is perfect, locking down the back line of Evil Geniuses, and the rest of them come over, trigger the Lincoln Spear, over on Lone Druid, but Arteezy stands his ground, but can he do it for much longer? He can when Samael is there, holding his hand, the Magnetize will wear off, but Lone Druid's so low. Even the burn, with Blade Mail standing in the macro pyre, Fear is forced to TP away. They have enough control, Savage Draw, it sends Camera away, so he's not there to fight, but Sylar commands to jump out of this one, but he'll survive for now, but Bloodseeker, all the movement speed in the world, they're just so low. Arteezy, Echo Crit will actually get the kill. It was the Mjolnir procs that were doing the earlier damage, but the rest of Evil Geniuses have come back to the middle lane, and GG for sure. Mercy, there shall be a white flag on the Thunderdor.
Yes, memories of Drow. Very, very good draft last night. Sick draft from EG in that final game, and an absolutely brutal performance from them, knocking out VGJ. Lots to talk about here as we head into Championship Sunday. 2 semi-finals ahead, as I said earlier on, and of course the grand final. All best of threes, and we've got two men alongside me this morning to discuss day number 3 and look ahead to what might happen with our last 4 teams. Good morning, gents.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Ready for the day? Was that a fun end for you yesterday to the day? Was it a fun end?
Yeah, I mean, it was a stomp. And traditionally,
Which
I like close games. But game 1 was pretty close. So I thought that was going to be kind of like the theme. It was going to have to be like a rough and tumble best of 3, but it was like crushed.
It was a great draft, though, wasn't it, from EG?
I actually want to jump in on this since we had a little bit of drama around it. Do you think that EG had VGJ completely outdrafted?
In game 2?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to say because in hindsight, like, of course, it makes sense.
Yeah, it was a stomp, etc. But
at the time, did I think that? I thought it was like 60-40, if I'm 100% honest.
Okay. I was just curious because there was we had both Matt and Swindles commenting on the draft on Twitter and stuff, and I was just interested to see some other people's opinions on the draft. I mean, I was with you. I didn't thought it was a big outdraft, but what do I know?
To be fair, though, I think Matt didn't say that it was like 50-50.
Yeah.
He just said VGJ had a chance to win.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
No, I mean, it didn't look like that from the early part of the game, did it?
It ended up being a stomp, and EG looked really good.
Don't kill me, Mad. I love you, but that was a clear stomp. It was also a bit cheesy. We had this argument in the car on the way home yesterday as well. The Drought's a cheese pick, isn't it? When you pick it, it's situational and it's 5th pick and it can't really be beaten.
I don't think it's cheese. Like,
don't say that, Will.
No. There are heroes like Brood and
Meepo.
That's
Brood. Meepo's cheese.
Those are true cheese
I'm
heroes.
trying to think of Anti-Mage as
Anti-Mage is not cheese.
It's like
Anti-Mage has been too much of a staple of all of Dota to possibly be cheese.
But like Dro, like she barely gets picked, and for good reason. She only
she's
works
cheese.
in like she only works in like 1 out of 300 situations.
Is that not the actual definition of cheese in this game?
No.
Massively situational last
Cheese-
pick can't be
the
beaten.
difference in Dota cheese, Dota cheese is like one hero auto wins the game because there are no counters, right? Drone Ranger is never that. Drone Ranger just empowers for other people to be able to work a strategy. You get a Meepo lineup, it's a Meepo lineup. Nobody cares about the other 4 heroes. It's a Meepo, he wins the game.
It's like, congratulations, you Meepo'd somebody. They lost.
Congratulations, you got
Let's
brooded.
go to game 2. But it's not like that with Dro. Dro's different.
Yeah, every single Dro lineup, you feel like you can beat.
I'm glad we've started on a feisty start today. Good, get the blood moving as well. Let's talk about the 3 days. Who have you been most impressed about of the 4 that didn't make it to the semi-finals, Will?
The 4 that didn't make it, I think the answer is pretty obvious there. I think Secret have played overall very decent Dota. I think that they still need a little bit of time, but I feel like overall they've been the team that's been most impressive to me. Like, I feel like they easily could have been in this top 4 area. We saw from yesterday, they were just on that precipice.
Waston, if I flip the bracket around and I move Team Secret to the other side, do they get through? If they don't have to play Immortals?
If they play...
Yeah, say they won their opening game against Infamous
first,
and then LGD won, and then Secret played LGD. Did Secret go through this group without playing Immortals? Is it just because of the way they matched up stylistically?
No, I think it still ends up being the same at the end of the day, because I do think Secret would lose to LGD, and then they would still be in a situation where they would face up against Immortals in the lower bracket. And if anything, then it would look even more one-sided, because we saw from the first series that they matched up against Immortals. It was very clear that Immortals was the better team, and that they were just stylistically, there is something to be said about that they're just stronger in that regard. And as we talked about and ad nauseum yesterday, is that the first time you face up against Immortals, it can be a shock.
And it definitely was. In terms of the other group, I guess no real surprises in the end, but if there was a surprise, it was that EG struggled the first time round.
Yeah, and EG struggling for a lot of people. They expected them to top this group. I thought coming into this tournament that they were going to be one of the top 2 teams here. That prediction can still live on, but them getting bodied that hard by Mineski was a surprise to me. I knew that Mineski was this good, but I didn't know that EG was going to be that bad.
Right.
Yeah, Mineski definitely stands out as like one of those teams that really could take the whole entire season by storm. They have the talent there. They have the strategy. The surprising thing to me about Group B was the fact that Na'Vi suffered so hard. I mean, both their series did go to a Game 3, so they did have a chance. It's like they were in it, but I think Na'Vi was just a bit disappointing because I kind of hoped that they would be able to make it through better in Star Ladder, and then here at least make it to playoffs. But Na'Vi just doesn't seem to click all the way through yet.
Still making good qualifiers, still making minors though, so that's something, I guess. So a good start. Good.
Not
solid,
getting the points though.
Good solid. No,
got to get those points.
That is something that we'll have to discuss as well. The 2 semi-finals ahead. Will let's talk about LGD, EG first. The the two invited teams here that you would have expected probably to top the group in both stages and then therefore not meet in the semi-finals. So we're going to lose one of our invite teams straight away. Is it a good matchup for EG?
I think it's probably the easiest, actually, out of the three. I think they would struggle with Immortals because Immortals' playstyle, I think, right now is just really strong. Mineski, they've already shown what they can do to EG with the right circumstances, and so I feel like LGD probably like their easiest test overall. Not that I think that they're the easiest team here, but I feel like matchup-wise, I think it works out very well in EG's favor, but at the same time, they have a lot of hurdles to clear. LGD's just been watching them this entire time go up. They probably have some preparations in mind. I think they have a better idea of how to deal with EG. And so I think this one's going to be difficult, but if EG is going to win any of the matchups, I think it's against LGD.
So you think EG always matches up better against teams that are willing to go late game, that are willing to be greedier? Because that's the way I see LGD, is that they're definitely one of the slower teams here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that hero-wise, there's not anything that's really going to surprise them. I feel like Mineski is a really tricky team to play against because they just have one or two of these heroes that just like, wow, like we can't handle that. You've got to deal with Jabs at this point, who has come from nowhere, and his 4 honestly might have been like second best this season so far.
Yes.
You can't really discount GH because he won TI and Starlighter, but right behind him is this guy named Jabs, whose mid was, but his 4 position is, oh, you can't talk enough about it as a caster. And then you have this occasional like anti-mage pick. I think I was being told like their AM is like, it was before they ran into Liquid. If you take the Liquid series out, they're like 10-0 with AM in the season, to like 13-0 with Nyx. They've got this Visage strategy that they can run off lane. Ice pretty much plays every single micro hero that's available. Like he plays Brewmaster, Visage, Arc Warden, Broodmother, Nature's Prophet.
Wyvern.
Like, yeah, their hero pool I think is just way too diverse.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and so you have a team like Liquid, I think, that even struggled against them. Like this is a Liquid that hadn't dropped a single game since the TI finals, and they almost lost to Mineski.
It's true. Right, we're going to get into our first semi-final of the day. It is a best of 3, and it's time to introduce you to our two teams. First up, a team, as Will's just said, they've been in fine form, they've got a great hero pool, and they've also got a talisman in the team as well. Let's meet them. We talk about him as a talisman. It's exactly what he is, isn't he?
Yes.
Why? For those that aren't familiar with him, which I can't imagine there's many people tuned in right now.
You're talking about Solace, right?
No.
Who are you talking about?
Ice.
Ice?
Yeah.
Why are you calling him a talisman?
Because he is. He's the regional talisman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you
Sure.
understood of it? Yeah, sure. I get it.
I mean, a talisman is something that brings good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like,
Is Ice
dude,
Ice-
he was on Faceless for a while. Like,
Yeah, let's pump
the
there
brakes
was not a whole
a
lot
little
of
bit.
luck for Faceless
Well,
last
okay,
season.
there were times he did. I mean, come on.
I think he's just good.
If you're going to build an SEA team, though,
Sure.
Oh.
he's the guy you want to build it around. Surely.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
He's the regional talisman.
He has been, I don't know if that's the word. Ice has been one of those few players, like a lot of players, they don't adapt very well through the metas. Like you'll see somebody that I used to love that I thought would just be dominant for the rest of their careers, Ferrari. I thought that Ferrari was going to be this mainstay player that would be here 10 years from now, but he just couldn't keep up with the meta.
Yeah.
And Ice, you've been watching him for so long. He's been around since Dota 1. He's been a staple on pretty much every dominant Southeast Asian team. He even went to China, had great success on that DK lineup. This is how highly they value him. They think that this guy, out of all offlaners, one of the most skilled in the world, if not the most mechanically skilled.
And it really does help that the laning phase is breaking down quite a bit, that we're seeing, like, you know, the Wisp Vens that go mid, and we have these, like, dual lanes that change up things quite a bit, and we're able to see Ice be able to take, like, safe lane 1v1 situations, and that's fantastic for you, because there are other offlaners I don't think who can occupy the space of a true carry like Ice can. I think sometimes Mineski do put a little bit too much in the Ice basket, and they're like, okay, Ice is going to carry us through this game. Like, we're going to make him be more of the hard carry, where sometimes I want to see him be more of the aggressor. I mean, that's the thing, is that he's fantastic as both. Right? He's also that player who is able to play really aggressive ganking style heroes that moves around the map, that sets the whole entire tempo of the game in your favor. And he's also that player who can play the hard carry, that can sit in the safe lane and win his 1v1 and then turn into a monster. And that is particularly strong right now, where there's so much versatility to the offlane and the hero pool there.
Is one of the other things I want to remark on, Will, and you've picked up on it a couple of times at this tournament alone, is his selflessness, which is not something that he's necessarily known for in the past. Yeah. He has played absolutely for his team at this tournament.
There's this concept in Dota that I hope everyone understands is, and pubs don't seem to understand this, but all 3 lanes and all 3 cores cannot have a good game. This is just Dota. Since its inception is, somebody just kind of has to be that guy that's going to get screwed over, and you have to deal with it. You can't complain. You still have to play your role. You might look bad, and you have to accept that wholeheartedly. You can't be the star of every single game. This is how Dota works. This is a principle that I think the best teams understand. You have OG, No-Tail. Maybe he won't stand out, but his team will win, and that's what matters. And I think Ice has taken that, especially this season, to the next level, where he doesn't have to be that star player for his team. A guy like Moon, a guy like Jabs, Mushi can play his AM. He can get carried, and I think he's okay with that as long as the wins keep racking up.
Yep, it's a great point to make, and hopefully someone will make a video of that and play it back time and time again whenever you've got an offlaner who's going crazy in your game. Let's move on to our second team, and their opponents in this particular game. They've been on fire so far. Well, we always try and be unbiased whenever we do these panels.
Yes.
But there are times when it's very hard, and I think this is one of those teams that makes it very hard. You can't fail but like them, just because of the smiles on their faces and the memes that come from them.
Yeah.
But also the way that they play is just so exciting to watch.
From a commentary perspective, absolutely incredible to watch. There's no team that they can't make fun. Like, every single team that they play against, even if it's a slow team, they will force you into this kind of play style where it's like this gong rush Dota, you know, go run at people nonstop for 40 minutes. We'll see what happens. Like, we'll flip this coin with you as many times as you want. And from a personal perspective, I've known these guys since my playing time in Korea, when Korean Dota was at its inception, and they're just really good guys. So it's harder to root against them.
I feel like as a play-by-play caster, I never have to worry about a game being boring, and I never have to worry about Immortals really being out of it, or the enemy team being out of it, for that matter, right? Because Immortals can always be able to find a way. Like, I look at it and it's like, oh man, 10K gold lead. They've lost fight after fight. Like, I don't know how they can win another team fight. Like, it seems like the game is gone, and they find a way. They do the right, smoke rotation that gives them some sort of initiation advantage, and they manage to win the fight off of that. They identify what are the key parts of a team fight to be able to win. So I feel like watching them, I'm like, they can always make the comeback. And then there's always the opportunity that they throw as well when they're ahead. So for me, it's perfect.
Is part of that the QO factor? I mean, I don't want to single out one guy, but even Febby yesterday said, jokingly, yeah, if I die, it's my fault, even though it's basically his fault.
It's just been this way since, like, forever, since the beginning of every single team that he's been on. Poker Face, QO, when he was on that team, like QO +5. It's just kind of been his MO to be that kind of player where it kind of defines him, though, at the same time. Like, it's what makes him great, but at the same time, you're kind of just like, what are you doing, QO? But I feel like you can't have one without the other. Right. You can't just, like, switch off that part where he's going to feed once in a while or just, like, randomly force his team into dying. Because if you see MVP or Immortals, that if they ever take a 3-on-5 fight, that is QO's idea. He's like, go, guys, I think we can win this fight. And from an objective standpoint, you're like, dude, you guys are going to get crushed. And without fail, they lose that fight, but it kind of just has to be how it is, I guess.
But they do go in as well, though. I mean, Febby said yesterday, didn't he? Like, when those moments happen, when he's like, QO says it's time to go in, it's time to go in, and even though you sit there and you go, but it's 3v5, we're going to get crushed. You get crushed anyway, but they still carry on doing it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the carry, right? So if your carry's making the calls to go in, there's no choice there, right? You're not going to just let him go out and be like, all right, you're going to go feed. Like, that's just a bad game plan. So you have to kind of follow through with it. And that makes for some amazing plays sometimes where they do manage to outplay their opponents because QO has, I don't know, a feeling?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
I guess it probably is something to do with that.
I would say intuition, but intuition is usually supposed to be always right.
I was going to say it's supposed to be intelligent, isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
the int part, I don't know, maybe not. In terms of matchup, where is the critical matchup in this game? Which lane is it?
I think it's most likely going to be the duel between the 4 positions. I feel like Jabs versus Febby is going to probably be the defining factor for me. Because if Jabs gets off to his game, he pretty much turns into a core and he just disrupts the pace of the game a little bit too much. And for Immortals, I think that's so important that they have pace of game. They're the team that almost always needs that momentum going for them. They're not a team that battles back very well. And so I think if Jabs can get off to a good start, it's going to be a really rough night for Immortals. But at the same time, if Febby, if he can create that space, if he can create these good matchups, these good laning phases for his team, I think it swings the other way as well.
They both had a good tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're both, when it comes to the styles of these two, especially Immortals, like the laning phase being so important, the 4 position has the highest priority, right? When you talk about like the laning phase and how they're supposed to be, not everyone's going to be able to win their laning phase, right? A big factor of that is the 4 position, who ruins the mid laner or who ruins the off laner or something like that. You know, so here it's like these 4 positions are always going to be the most important thing when it comes to that first 15 minutes. For me, though, I'm really interested in the off lane matchup. As an off lane player myself, these are 2 players that I really look up to. I felt like Ice, even when his teams have not been anywhere close to top 3, he has always been a top 3 offlaner, right? It's just something about him. He shines through no matter what, even in these losses, even when the team isn't doing so well. You can tell that he's got every ounce of skill to make himself potentially the best offlaner in the world. So he's got that. And Forev, I think, is also right there on his tail. I think he's so close to being in that top 3 area. I think, like, I personally would rank him top 5 right now. So I think that these 2 offlaners for me is what I'm going to be watching the most.
We haven't even mentioned carries or the mids, and there's plenty of action in here as well. I mean, this could be a really explosive game.
Yeah, but the reason why we keep mentioning these 2 roles is because I think in this meta, more than any other, the 3 and the 4 role are the most important they've ever been. And I think that has been really good for teams like Mineski, where they have, like Cap said, a top 3 offlaner. They have what looks like a top 3 4-position player right now. This is where you can have the most influence in the game by far. But of course, you need somebody to lock down the game and ultimately end the game, and that's where guys like Mushi and MP are going to come in. Or Mushi and QO.
Let's turn our attention towards the draft. It's almost with us, and talk hero choices. What have you made so far of these 2 teams drafting?
I think that Bloodseeker is a hero that I think that Immortals will start to favor. I feel like that's a hero that has moved up in the ranking list. Winter Wyvern, Pugna, Spirit Breaker. I don't think there's a lot of overlap, aside from maybe 1 or 2 heroes in their pools. Probably the Wisp is going to be something that is hotly contested. I'd imagine that's going to be banned out. And more than anything, do not give either team Venomancer.
Yes.
Yeah, he is the most banned so far. 20 bans he's had in this particular tournament. He's only been allowed through 5 times, and has been picked in all of those. So, I mean, it's weird with these, but I'm also going to throw in here, Will, most picked at this event?
Most picked at this event?
Yeah. I wonder whether you...
Is it the Jakiro, Paul?
It is the Jakiro, Austin. That's incredible. How did you guess that?
How'd you know that?
It's almost like Paul is a fanatic for Jakiro.
Yeah, Venomancer, 5 picks, 20 bans. But his 5 picks have resulted in 5 wins.
Yes, one of which was Immortals versus LGD.
Yeah, so
right?
you kind of
go,
go, let's not let him through anymore. He needs nerfing. Ice Frog, get on that. Night Stalker's 7 picks, 17 bans, and the other one is Nick's 4 picks, 13 bans. Broodmother, 1 pick, 13 bans. So those have been the big bannies, if you like. Batrider has had quite a lot of bans as well here.
Yeah, and there's no surprise to any of them. A lot of those heroes are just like... Competitive Dota is dictated by like these free win heroes sometimes, especially in best of 3s. Get rid of the Veno. Please, if you're not first pick, just don't deal with... You're not the team that's going to set the world on fire and figure out how to beat it. It's like, how many
found
teams,
the solution, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, how many teams have to... I think the only team I saw beat it in like the last 6 months was like Liquid beat Mineski at Starladder, But that Venomancer was beyond godlike at 13 minutes. So it was definitely not his fault.
And sure enough, there's the first ban.
Yeah, I think it's
immediately.
pretty much automatic now. It has, as I said, it has been let through a few times. Teams have tested it. They have decided to come up with counters. It hasn't worked.
Don't test it.
And all of them have ended up losing.
I really like your suggestion of the Bloodseeker. It seems like most of the strongest heroes right now are these cores that are able to shove out lanes really well and farm, but always be able to fight. Right, yeah. Venomancer is always able to keep pressure on lanes and constantly push out, but he's a great team fighting hero at the same time. He's pretty much undefeated when it comes to lane pushing, just because it's so hard to gank him. I mean, he's got these wards set up.
I was going to say, and vision as well.
Yeah,
it's like, he's just got everything.
Even if you smoke on him, you're just like, guys, if we mess up at all, he's going to get his ultimate off. We don't know. Maybe he has even one ally, and that can just change things and turn what is supposed to be a free gank into a triple kill to your disadvantage. So
yeah, far too dangerous right now. Talking of dangerous, was or has been dangerous recently. 4 picks so far, 10 bans for the Lich, and it has squeaked through. I guess when you've got 5, 6, 7 kind of big banned heroes, a few of them are going to leak through.
Yeah, and they also, I think Mineski had the same read that I did. Remember they said, I said that I think Bloodseeker's moved up a lot in Immortals, like their overall, the way that they look at the hero. I think that one's just a pretty obvious ban right now.
Yeah, they were willing to pick it up really early in the draft.
Yep.
So they felt it was so strong.
So you take Nyx plus what? Puck or Wyvern? That's also, this is like their preferred opening that we've seen all the way from Immortals, is they take 4 plus Puck. Or if they can, they'll take one of the really OP heroes like Lich or Veno or Io, but if you don't get one of those, then their response has almost always been Night Stalker Puck, Spirit Breaker Puck, or Nyx Puck.
Are you a little bit surprised that they went for the Nyx Assassin over the Spirit Breaker?
No, I'm not. And Mineski...
Is it because you want to take it away from Mineski?
No, I think it's partially that, but at the same time, like, it's probably a pace of game thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Playing against all of Nana's heroes or Moons, I guess that's what his official name changes
it's
now.
a flexibility thing too? I mean, they've got 3 cores that can pretty much play anything.
Yeah.
And they do rotate them around.
But if the reason I think the second pick AM is so smart and why it worked against Navi is because if you do this opener that you expect, this Nyx Assassin Puck or something like that, then you assume like these are at minimum 1 core, most likely the 4 position.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how the 4 position needs to have a really good game against heroes like AM. And they've already banned Bloodseeker.
So yeah, AM for Mineski, an early phase 1 pick for them.
So Mineski, just ban all the counters that you can think of. Immortals, they banned Earth Spirit. What do you get rid of, like Brood? What did they ban, Monkey King?
Yeah, Monkey.
Yeah, it was pretty
Solid
good against
amount of physical damage.
Pretty good against
stun.
AM yesterday as well. I think several teams showed that it can work.
You need to ban all the heroes that can 4v5. And the thing about Lich pairing with that AM is that Lich is like notoriously strong at just straight up winning lanes.
Yeah, it's been pretty much Immortals' go-to 1-2 ban for most of the series. This is, I think, the one that they switched up. What about
maybe they don't ban Brood. Maybe they banned something like, I mean, all the 4s for the most part have been banned. You can ban like Clock or something, but both these heroes are okay against it. Like Puck doesn't really care about Clock. Maybe he's annoying at the Cogs thing.
what about the what happened to the Enchantress from Mineski?
It's okay, but they were using it as the Venom counter.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good at. I'm trying to think of the other 4 position heroes that I'm not seeing.
Well, Tusk isn't much of a hero. Earthshaker.
Shaker?
Shaker against Puck.
Shaker against Puck's alright. Shaker against Nyx is a little annoying, but they could join the meta and take like Ricky or Bounty Hunter.
Bane.
Yeah, Bane. Well, okay, so they banned Viper, so that gives me some credence that this might just be a mid Puck, and so they need to counter offlaner. They need something like this Doom. They need like Doom, Legion, Shaker, something like that. I would like it to be a mid Puck at this point.
Why?
Because I don't think Puck cares too much about the Lich. Like, it's annoying, but he'll trade up somewhat decently. What did they get rid of? TB?
Yeah, Terrorblade.
Okay.
And I think there are offlaners that counter AM better than there are mid laners.
So they take Wyvern on Immortals, which yesterday I thought they would take, if you remember, I thought they would take it third every time. We were having this discussion about why I thought Immortals was so good with Wyvern. But they ended up not taking it, so I thought they devalued the hero. But I guess not. So if you're Mineski...
They've got just so much lockdown, too. I love the Wyvern in any one of these setups for like Puck or Monkey King, any one of those heroes, because the Winter's Curse has so much more value. Winter's Curse is like a solo kill ability is not that strong. It's pretty rare to be able to get like a game-changing ultimate like that, but it is really good setup for other AoE.
So they take Shaker.
Shaker versus the Puck, all right. And I think it is really important with this current setup from Immortals that they have, that Mineski has the better of initiation, because they're going to be playing a lot of 4 versus 5 with this AM trying to split push out the game.
PA for a QO.
Yeah.
Classic counter.
Yep.
It's a really nice hero against AM too, because no matter what, you always scale decently with AM. It forces AM to build items that he doesn't necessarily want to build either. Mineski...
And your timing's just a lot faster than the AM, right?
Yeah, they still need an offlaner though. I'm trying to think. Do you take something like Brew?
Brew against Puck and Nyx is a little annoying, but it's really
like,
good versus PA.
You can take like Tide or something.
Pugna banned.
Oh yeah, Pugna's alright too.
I can't see.
Can you go Tide? I think you need a faster hero, right? Like that's not as cooldown dependent.
Just like Tide it up.
What about Pugna?
Pugna's alright, but it'll be playing against the Nyx.
Yeah,
and that's
that is
traditionally
annoying.
like a really annoying thing.
It's like good versus Puck and PA, but
it's like if you're really bold, you would take something like Bat Rider, but Bat Rider's gonna have a rough game.
yeah, again, Nyx.
Man,
Nyx really is the counter to so many heroes.
Yeah. So they take Visage for
SSS. Jakiro off.
Yeah.
So they need their mid now. And Immortals... I think Immortals should just take something like Doom. They could take Bat Rider themselves, actually. It's not bad here. I'd be okay with Bat, Doom, Legion, any of those 3.
How about a Forever Enigma?
Oh, that's old school.
That hero's been gone for a little while.
I know. So sad.
Bit too slow.
I think those are Immortals' choice. Unless they switch Puck off lane and take something like Ember for their mini lockdown. But I don't know if that's likely.
Yeah, especially against Shaker.
Yeah.
And the Bat Rider would definitely say, like, hey, we're putting ourselves a little bit more on the clock, but it's a more adept, like, faster hero. But the Doom would kind of guarantee that you can always fight this lineup into late game. Doom gives you those kind of advantages that you get the right kind of initiation, you can still win.
If you're Mineski, what do you take then? Like, Mirana? It's been Nana's, like, second most played hero.
Yeah, and I think you
Oh, they banned it?
don't like it versus Puck, but it's like one of those cores that just kind of always... Like, he's able to push out lanes, and it's really hard to be able to gank him because he has the natural escape mechanism.
Yeah. They banned it, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of an obvious pick, and if it is, then...
What about Razor versus PA and Puck? It's a big counter to both of those cores.
Razor, it's okay. You don't need a lot of farm either.
Yeah.
You just need a hero that fights right now. Like, you have 3 cores and a support that need a lot. So you need something that can space create right now. But Mineski has to pick first. If it wasn't for Mushi, I would have said they were going to take something like TA. But Mushi's definitely playing that AM.
Yeah.
What's probably going to happen is they're going to AM Lich mid. They're going to offlane Visage and Earthshaker. So then they need a core that can one-on-one whatever they think Immortals is going to take. And so you just pick a hero that doesn't really lose any of the one-on-one matchups that that Nana can play. Is how I would imagine that something like this goes.
Good call.
Okay, so they banned the Doom.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Doom or what was the other hero? Bat was
Rider.
like the most obvious pick.
Yeah.
I thought the Doom would be really sick. Like it doesn't. It'd go pretty crazy in this game. Like it runs over a lot of these heroes.
The obvious pick here is the Batrider, isn't it?
For Mineski?
No.
For Immortals?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
For Mineski, it's a little bit more open because it has to be a hero that I think can go mid, or it's okay with soloing. It's okay with soloing bottom if they decide to dual lane mid, because it's a really nice dual lane mid opportunity. So you just pick like a hero that essentially just like hits stuff, or like
We're looking for a moon hero, right?
yeah. Oh, good call. It was the Razor. You need a 4v5 core, and you don't need somebody that pushes in lanes anymore. So like the Tinkers and stuff are.
It's like pretty
relevant.
rare that you look at it and it's like, oh, it's a good Razor game. Most of the time you look at it and like, oh, it's a good Viper game. It's a little bit more specific when it's a good Razor game, and he's got a counter to both the two cores that are on the board so far from Immortals.
Yeah.
Which makes it like now you can't really go Puck mid, can you? I mean, he gets kind of trashed by Razor mid, right? Or you said it's going to be the dual lane of
It
AM
might just be dual
Lich.
AM Lich.
Man, it's really hard to break down lanes.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying for Immortals no matter what.
Yeah.
What do we say, Bat?
Oh, they got
take
brooded.
Brood. Oh, it's a nice Brood game.
Yeah, they've only got Shaker.
Yeah, it was in there,
And
wasn't
it's
it?
a
And
support
they
Shaker
have
anyway.
been known to do it before.
Go mid Brood.
Is it going to be a mid brood?
I mean,
Well,
either way,
they're still waiting. I think they're still deciding as well, aren't they?
none of those cores deal with Broodmother, right? It's like Razor, you just have one small AoE that doesn't really do anything. Visage is purely single target focused, and AM is just a farmer who's going to have a lot of his map taken over by a Broodmother.
Okay, here we go.
So
forever on the brood.
Heavily in Immortals right now. I mean, I liked their lineup before. I thought the Razor would be pretty fitting for Mineski, but ultimately it was going to be Immortals going a last pick, and I already felt they had the advantage from the first 4 picks. So,
okay,
I
Immortals
will
for Cap.
say Mineski.
What a shock!
What do you guys mean, what a shock? This is my professional analysis. I
Is
feel
it?
like
I thought this was opposite day.
No, it's I feel like Mineski really going to light the world on fire. I think this anti-mage for them is pretty unbeatable.
they will show that the last pick Broodmother is pretty garbage.
Anti-mage.
Low win rate.
Well, we'll find out then, because we're going to head to Lyrical and Winter, who are waiting in the commentary box to bring you game number 1 of semi-final number 1. Enjoy.
Thank you, Paul. Winter. We just got a little bit of a look at a last pick Brood, and they're talking about it having a pretty good win rate. Well, they're saying that that's going to change now, but I don't know. I'm feeling like this is looking quite good for Immortals.
Yep, Mineski's going to have a serious spider problem this game, that heroes do not deal with the Brood very well early. However, if they are going to be able to survive the early game, they're going to be able to be okay against the Brood later.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, they do have some answers if they're able to get the levels. Everybody talks about Earthshaker as like this great counter for a Broodmother, but that's not really the case, particularly when it's going to be Jabs playing it this time around. So we'll have to see how they do, but already a little bit of a battle starting it off. They're in the front of Mineski and Immortals. They're going to get first blood.
Oh.
Okay, well, even better start.
They were giving it to... I think they were trying to give it to Kyo. Kyo was trying to get the last hit there, but Fabi gets the first blood at the end of the day. But that was like so many heroes out very, very early. I think they were kind of expecting the Lich to come in and put a ward, because they are expecting Lich AM mid. So they felt like Ninja Boogie and the Lich would probably come in and put some deep wards in around the mid area, so there were many heroes there anticipating his arrival, and free kill there for Immortals. Good start for them. Absolutely. On top of the Brood problem that Mineski's going to have.
Well, and they did end up baiting out a sentry, so you know you give up first blood, but there's a sentry already placed down there by the Radiant team.
So that's minus 100. Okay, wait, Nyx. So that's minus 100 gold, but they got 200 gold for the first blood.
Yeah, you know how it goes, plus the experience, for sure. I mean, you got to find the silver linings here, Winter. When you get last pick Brood, and then on top of that you give up first blood, it's not a great feeling, as it looks like QO is going to head over here, pick up the bounty rune, go to lane, and where is the Spider Lady? It's actually going to be up in the off lane, and I don't know. How will this Razor deal with Broodmother?
First few levels, I think, should be Razor favored because of the static thing. But when Brood has her army, she's going to be able to... I kind of expect her to maybe go behind the tower, kill the creeps behind, and farm the jungle. And eventually you're going to have a big spider army that you can actually take down the Razor. But he needs to be careful though.
Oh, the fissure block off, almost going to be able to catch him there. That would have been a kill most likely.
Yep, the plasma field can actually kill off the small spiderlings easily. So if Forever can micro those well enough, I think when he has a big bunch of spiders, he can definitely have a chance of killing the Razor.
Well, and you take a look at the mid lane as well. We talk a little bit about making sure that they're going to enable Mushi on this anti-mage. He's at least going to have a better time than if he was up against the Broodmother, though. MP and Dubu are sitting here, and they're going to go in. Arctic Burn already used, and trying to get the Courier Snipe is going to be able to pick it up. Dubu just getting a free one there.
Oh my god. No self now for the AM. Okay, actually there wasn't a self in the Courier, there was nothing.
Okay.
So AM won't have any regen here for the lane. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, certainly not what they want, and can keep on just laying out that harassment as the game goes on with the orb and stuff, especially since the AM doesn't have any points in Spell Shield yet, but well, we're seeing...
God. This is really bad, Lyrical. He has only 4 last hits.
Okay, it's not feeling great for the AM, and it's not really a point where, like, can they rotate in other heroes to try and help him out at all? He has a Lich already in this lane. There's not much more he can do.
Probably not. I think Jabs is just going to roam and do his things in the other lanes. And he's just going to be... He's just going to be here with the Lich.
Getting aggressive. They use their orb aggressively. Is Mushi going to be able to salvage this? Almost. Not enough mana on the Lich right there in the cooldown for Frost Blast.
Hasn't got his All Venom yet. I think with the All Venom, that if that happens once again, Puck will be for sure dead.
He might just be able to kill Mushi, though, if they're not careful. MP walking forward. He does get Frost Blasted, but this is a battle in lane.
They have no courier and no regen, so he has to go back to base.
Oh, poor Mushi.
This is really bad for them.
Well,
and Eyes on the Visage as well, not getting too many last hits here, but he's getting decent experience. Gonna hit level 3 fairly soon with this creep wave that he managed to pull over. And top lane on the Razor's doing okay so far. Brood hasn't reached a point where she has, I would say at level 5, it would start to be really difficult for the Razor.
Okay. Getting 3 points up in the spawn spider lanes.
Yeah, or 3 points in the web.
Right.
Depending on what the player wants. Some player wants more regen, more webs in the lane. But either way, right now, Razor should still be fine.
Yeah. But the big storyline again is MP, who's having a really great time of it. Dubu is here again, and Mushi has some tangos and a Fairy Fire, but it's honestly quite hard for him to just stay at all in this lane. He's having to pull the aggro back, and is getting last hits every now and then, but working for each and every one of them as Jabs completely scouted out by that ward up on the high ground.
Yeah, this Wyvern being so annoying in the mid lane. Using the Arctic Burn whenever he has it and just running around controlling runes. He's pretty much sitting mid helping out MP against this Lich AM dual lane. And usually Pucks struggle in this kind of lane, you know, even though he doesn't mind. Like during the panel mentioned, like it's quite hard to kill the Puck, but still if the Puck is left alone, he's going to have very little farm against this kind of lane. It's hard for him to die, but he won't be able to get too much. But because of Dubu's presence in the lane, he's able to right now be top of the CS chart, pushing the AM and pressuring the AM a lot in the laning phase. So this is really, really good for Immortals right now.
Yeah, they're having a great time of it for sure. Like you talked about, the Brood not necessarily completely dominating yet. He's level 4, the Plasma Field, able to deal a good bit of damage to the spiders, and Moon is maxing that currently while trying to get the stacks off as well. But Dubu's going to show up here and deal a little bit of damage in return as Moon brought down about half HP. Needs to be careful. The Spider Army is actually hurting him quite heavily. Jabs also starting to fall low. He has another spawn Spiderlings with the Soul Ring if he wants to, and Jabs almost dead under tower, but he is going to live on 24 HP.
Close call there, close call. Like I said, when the levels kicks in, Brood is going to be more and more annoying. She's now only level 4, so it's going to be even more annoying. Good rotations again there by Dubu, pressuring all the lanes with his Arctic Burn. Like he's pretty much just running around. Whenever his Arctic Burn is on cooldown, goes to the lane, waits for the cooldown, uses it, rinse, repeat. And that's pretty much gonna, you know, secure the Brood's lane as well. Like, Brood is behind the Razor in terms of CS, but still, Brood is getting good levels here.
And that's the thing that, to me, that's really impressive about the Dubu Wyvern, as well as we see Mushi just taking some more harassment here mid, is that you're also not sacrificing the levels so much on Dubu. He's level 3, a little bit ahead of the Earthshaker in terms of experience, and it's not really feeling like you're missing out on too much.
Yeah, because he's like picking up a lot of the bounty runes along the way. Oh, Ninja Boogie is going to be dead here.
Oh, man. Well, mid lane. Got a bit too big for his britches and gets punished, and now Mushi gonna take a lot of harassment in lane again. I mean, the ice armor is there, and it's kind of nice and all, but you know, the Arctic burn, the damage over time is a big part of this as well, as Mushi is really, really struggling. No more regen here except for that ring, and this is tough. Lich threw over his, he brought out his ring of health to him, so that's gonna be something at least.
Ring of Regen and Ring of Health.
Yeah, he's got it now.
That's how much pressure that he's been suffering. But Jabs is here in the mid lane. He plays a deep ward in enemy jungle, looking to set up on MP right now. MP doesn't have too much mana, but he has stick.
Oh, mid. They're able to find him. Is he going to be able to get out of there in time? It looks like with the stick and the bottle, he's fine.
He's really, really hard to kill still. Has that raindrop, stick, now bottle, and he still has his shrine, so that pug is going to be laning against the AM for some time.
Right. And I guess, you know, you take... Oh, another one in mid. MP, he's going to live through this, as Mushi almost ended up being the one that dropped down low. But Ice also, he hasn't really been getting a ton out of this off lane.
Yeah, it's a very difficult lane, though, because of PA is very strong in the laning phase. But as we talk a lot about, like, Visage as a hero, he doesn't really mind too much about not getting too much farm early. He minds more about getting experience, you know, he wants more experience, faster level 6, so that he can actually contribute to the team, hold the lane well with the birds. So I would expect him to get start to get more farm once he reaches that point. He's level 5.5 right now, so that's really good for him.
You just need to be careful. Febby taking the long route around, and they actually don't see him. Now they spot the Nyx Assassin. The dive is coming in. QO on top of him with the Mask of Madness, and that's going to be a kill. Jabs try and turn this back around. He does have the True Strike there and able to take down QO.
Oh, that was very, very important.
Top lane, they also take down Moon. So, QO maybe, again, just going in a bit ham.
Yep, but at the same time, because Shaker actually rotated bottom, they immediately went on top. And Dubu's just been everywhere, man. This Wyvern, he's been using the Arctic Burn to pressure and kill the lanes very, very effectively. By far right now, the player that's doing the most in the team right now, this support Wyvern.
Oh, Ninja Boogie almost ran into him right there. He does have Sentry wards as well to try and mitigate some of that vision. QO down bottom lane, able to find himself the Ice Visage yet again, and that time no rotations come.
Yeah, he's still not level 6. That's why he's been always repeatedly pressured. Like, once he has the familiars, he's going to be able to hold the lane well. But before that happens, he's really, really weak in the lane against a PA.
Well, Winter, I feel like I sense something coming, and it might be Mineski in a bad spot in this game number 1. Broodmother is dominating. There's a 5,000 net worth lead right now. You're struggling on pretty much all of the lanes. How do you see the next couple minutes of this going? Like, is AM going to be able to get where he needs to? Is Razor down low in the top lane? He's actually dead again as well, and they're going to try and jaunt forward for this. They dropped the coil, kept on to Jabs. Earthshaker nowhere left to go at all, and he is also going to die.
Man, this is really, really bad right now for Mineski. All 3 lanes lost. They're pretty much in a very big hole right now, and their saving grace is going to be the level 6 on Lich. When they have the Echo, Chain Frost, that's when they're going to have to try to get some good fights going for them and hopefully get back on track in terms of net worth. Right now, they're very, very far behind, 6k behind after just almost 10 minutes in the game. This is a disastrous laning phase for Mineski. The Brood just really caught them by surprise and messed up a lot of their plans in the early game.
Yeah. And Brood going back for Radiance now. You do have the QOPA that's got phase Mask of Madness.
Radiance Brood, yeah, this game.
Hey man, it's a thing, right?
I mean, it's a thing, but you know, I'm so used to seeing the Desolator Mask of Madness.
Oh god, QO, is he really going for this? Mushi
Yes,
shows up
he
as
is.
well. All right, well, they're going to get jabs. Now they turn to fight. Chain Frost is there. QO dropped down low. They're bringing in Femi, turning this back around. QO finds the kill, and now Ninja Boogie is trying to get out of there. The Visage Birds actually get the finish on the PA, who dove a bit too deep.
Still worth though. He got 2 kills.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That is worth.
MP able to phase shift away from that and will be living through it.
AM dying there was so bad for Mineski. If Mushi didn't die and they got the kill on the PA, things would still be acceptable for them. But right now, things have just got from bad to worse still.
Well, Plasma Field out. Moon down to about half HP. He wants to fight, wants to kill. Dubu, Cold Embrace, and Moon going to most likely perish as the spiders chase him down. No, he actually gets the one charge, still living through it. Dubu getting chased. Looks like he's going to end up dying. They're kind of body blocking the... Well, oh my god, is he really going to live? Dubu trying to survive. Mushi goes... Oh, he's not able to juke away, but he blinked aggressively. A couple of crits, and it might be the death of him. The jump for it, Mushi, very low. Needs to get the blink out. He is going to be able to do it.
Oh my god. One more crit here actually might have been really close to dying. This QOPA, man, just such a big problem right now. He doesn't like the panel management, he doesn't need too much farm, so he peaks faster than the AM. And on top of that, AM has been slowed down from the laning phase. He had a really, really tough laning phase, so things are looking quite bleak right now for Mineski. They already used their first Chain Frost, but it wasn't a good exchange for them. The next Chain Frost has to be a good exchange for them.
And Febby setting up there. It might just be to steal a couple creeps if they wanted to. Moon chasing forever. It's going to be enough to actually find that kill. So the Razor picking one up. He might get dove here. It's a little bit scary. And
Kyo really, really wants to fight right now.
They're kind of bleeding kills right now, Immortals.
What actually happened there? I didn't see. Was he trying to steal the creeps? Oh, no,
top lane, they're going to find themselves another couple kills. We don't have time to talk about what happened, Winter. Game keeps on going without us. I'm not exactly sure, but the Nyx Assassin.
Okay, I think I know what happened. He tried to play. He placed this ward, right? He placed this ward out of Vendetta, and maybe someone was nearby. They saw him and they just killed him because there were the birds around the area. Maybe that was what happened. But I'm pretty sure he placed this ward just now, even though I wasn't watching. So at the end of the day, he died. The ward gave them vision, information, 3 heroes bottom, top only 2 heroes. So Q again immediately jumping on the opportunity and getting another 2 kills at top. Mineski needs to not fight right now. They have to like try to push out the other lanes and try to get more farm on all their heroes right now.
Well, they do spot the anti-mage here, and with the Lich in the area, it might be a little bit too difficult to think about diving this one unless they have more backup.
He has no Chain Frost though.
Oh, yeah, well, there's a jump forward. They found themselves one. The Echo Slam turnaround. QO, oh, there's going to be Winter's Curse, though. Trying to keep their buddies alive. Jabs is low. QO is lower, though. He's going to try and jump away from them. Can they find the kill? QO is so freaking low, but there's the Cold Embrace, keeping him alive, but for how much longer? I think the answer is not very long at all. Immortals throwing this game away right here. Dubu is going to end up dying also. I don't know, Winter.
I mean, they were trying to do the right thing, shutting down the AM. I think they didn't see the Visage coming in. They saw AM, Earthshaker, and the Lich there. They saw 3 heroes, and they knew that the Lich already threw his Chain Frost. Right. So they thought that they had enough firepower because they had also 3 heroes there in the area. But Echo Slam, you know, that was the first Echo Slam, like I mentioned. All the ultimates being online, it's the time for Mineski to try and use them and get something in return. And obviously, Kyo sort of jumped into the Earthshaker. You know, it wasn't like the Earthshaker got a good gank off. It was like he was just helping out his buddy.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like you don't even need a blink dagger if the PA just jumps onto you.
He has his blink now.
I know, that's the thing. They're starting to make this work, and if I'm Immortals, I'd be pretty concerned, particularly because Mushi is actually getting relatively close to a Battle Fury as well.
Yep. They just need to hold on for a couple more minutes, wait for the next Echo, maybe make a smoke. If they're going to be able to use the next Echo to actually kill, say, the PA again, that would be huge. That would be absolutely huge for them all. Even any of the cores, I think, the Park or the Brood, any kill. But I would say even though their net worth, the trio of the heroes have similar net worth, but I think the PA kill is probably the most valuable if you can actually get him with the next Echo. 40 seconds, and he has a smoke.
They're moving out.
Yep, they have 2 wards. Look at their wards. They have 2 wards on the top side of the map, so they see them there, and they don't see the AM, so they're kind of expecting Mushi to be around this area. That's why they're...
And he's walking there right now.
Yeah,
this is such perfect timing. He blinks aggressively forward. They are going to find him. The coil is out as well. All the damage in the world. That was so well done.
This is all vision, man. This is all vision. They don't see him in the top. Where else can the AM be? Where else can the AM be?
Yeah. They knew before he even got there.
Yeah, this sentry, however, is going to de-ward their ops, the ops that they just planted down, and 4F is still being like a pest, you know. He's like doing like a Venomancer job, shoving this lane down, and he's going to have his Radiance right now. Not sure if it's actually the most optimal build. I guess because the PA is going to build the Deso and whatnot, so the Brood, you know, he just opted to go for another item. I mean, Radiance Brood is really good at shuffling out lanes, but not so good at man fighting, you know. Not as strong as getting Roshan or fighting the AM. But I guess it's going to give them like more scaling into the late game because it's a much more greedy build. We'll see. I think it's just because PA is going the Deso, so he doesn't really want to go for the same items.
I mean, it's not bad also being able to cancel the Blink Dagger of the Earthshaker a little bit later on, things like that. They do have the Brood caught though, and
these kills are really giving away a lot of gold and XP away to the enemy team.
It ain't great, Winner. It ain't great. And it's not really feeling like they have the same type of control over this game that they once did. It's a 7,000 net worth lead, but it does feel like Mineski sort of have the ability to make it work.
You know, it's the same like a series yesterday where a team had, like, it was a secret series against Immortals. They were 10k behind, but it doesn't feel like it was a 10k lead. Oh no, Ice gonna get caught here.
Silence out. They aren't fully diving for this one, though.
He's quite tanky, though.
That's a scary one. They're actually moving in as well with several other heroes down to the south. They've got the smoke.
They still have Echo Slam.
Walking forward. They're looking for this opening right now. If they realize that Dubu and February over in the trees could be a big play, but maybe a little bit too scary. The wraparound is still coming from Jabs. Smoke breaks if they move any further south. So Mineski waiting for Immortals to make that first move.
Immortals know. They look at the visage, it's like, whoa, this guy is suddenly playing so high up.
Walking forward, Razor's there, he gets the Winner's Curse. That's only to keep him alive for the moment, but it might not even do that.
Oh, Echo!
The turnaround Echo Slam laid down. There was never a chance.
Oh my god, that was perfect by Jabs once again. Getting the big Echo Slam, and his team is under so much pressure there. That is a big 2 kills there. They got the park, they got the tower. That is like 2k goal.
Big swing.
At least back to their favor. So one big Echo Slam. More to come hopefully for Mineski, but for Immortals they need to stop bleeding kills and try to secure the Roshan with the PA. He has his Deso, right?
He does have it completed. Yeah. So this is the move. You head over in towards the Roche Pit. I guess if you're Mineski right now, is it as easy to fight? Like, you don't have Echo Slam. They do have
It's quite hard though. Chain Frost is down. Echo is down. Not sure if they can actually hold. I don't think they can though without the 2 ultis.
Okay.
They're gonna try to farm. I don't think they should fight.
They do have the birds in here that are just messing with them a little bit. You can see that Ice keeps the micro going and is going to be able to go in for another drop there, keeps them back, but the first bird down, and they're at least delaying. And any time that you can give this AM to keep on farming with this Battle Fury completed and trying to get into the Mantis style next will be good.
Yeah, I don't think they are going to be able to fight. They have a smoke on a Shaker.
Roche actually took out that last
Maybe
bird.
they're going to try and... Wait, they stopped doing the Roche? Okay.
Well,
that's
Razor's
really
there.
Oh, Carapace.
A little bit of damage already out. Are they going to be able to blow up the Razor? Jabs is there, the Fissure to try and turn it, but one crit from QO blows him the hell up.
They really shouldn't be going there. This is what happened to Secret yesterday in the second game when they were slowly getting back themselves. It was like similar to this game, very similar. Early game they lost, and when it comes to their heroes getting levels, they start to win like a couple of fights with their ultimates, and then they were split pushing really well because they had the Prophet, and then they decided, oh, Immortals are actually doing Roshan. Let's try to contest them, when they actually shouldn't do that because Immortals are really strong at that stage, and what they should have done was like similar to Mineski here. Keep pushing out the lanes and keep getting items. You just need to wait and chill until your AM gets fat, and then you start fighting. And on top
I
of
mean,
that,
this might be a while to be fair though. Like he
on
is
top
still
of that-
pretty far away from the Yashi.
yeah.
even.
On top of that, they didn't have ultis on the
Right.
Shaker and the Lich Chamber. So that
I
was,
guess, you know, one thing you can say about it is that at least delayed them a little bit in the taking of the Roche. Like,
yeah,
any
but,
bit that you can slow it down.
Razor didn't have to die here. Like
Okay.
every death they are giving up is obviously not good for the team, you know.
Okay. Dying not good for the team.
Especially the core. Razor is the important hero. If they were to actually just lose, like the Lich walks up, he tries to scout the Roshan and he dies, everyone else backs off.
For sure.
That's like, okay, position 5, whatever. But now it's your carry. Like, okay, not carry, but position 2, even though he was on the safe lane.
That's important here. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Winner. I'm with you. So Mushi going to continue the farming around the map. 15 to 10. It's only a 5,000 net worth lead.
Doesn't
and
feel
with
that
the Yasha
much.
completed, it's going to be Mushi trying to accentuate his farming as he's almost caught up with QO now, who does have the Aegis. So if you're Immortals, thinking about where you go over the next few minutes, do you attempt to just shut down the rest of the tier 2 towers? How quickly can you push with this full assortment of items?
They have to go ASAP. Like, they really want to go. The longer they wait, the game is going to be harder for them, for sure. But I think they should probably wait for BKB. If they can get BKB on the Brood and BKB on the PA, that is actually goal time. But right now, I think they're still pretty strong to take down the outer towers.
Moon actually has finished off a Halberd on the Razor, too.
It's pretty good. Good against the PA, good against the Spider. I think just a very solid item in general for the Razor. His role in this game is to be the tank, to buy time, to push out lanes, and anything that can actually help him survive is pretty good for him.
Well, you mentioned QO has the BKB queued up for himself. Also, the Forev Broodmother has a BKB queued up. Got into that 350 health talent instead of the cooldown reduction. So it does feel like they just want to try and be this big, bulky force.
Yeah, you generally see the cooldown reduction because it's really good on Brood. But with the HP talent, it tells us that it's very similar to the game we casted yesterday.
Yeah, with the Doom.
With the Doom, yeah, they just want to fight. It might pay off, it might not pay off, but we'll see. Because in this game, they pretty much have to end the game, right? They do not want to go to late game.
There's the Impale. It comes through already onto the Razor. They're TPing in the Brood right on top of him. Already brought down very low. The Echo Slam turnaround, but is it going to be enough? MP still living through all that. The Cold Embrace and now the Winter's Curse laid down onto the Earthshaker. Gets crit to all hell. QO able to blow up. A second Impale connect. 3 dead from Mineski. There are no buybacks on these heroes, and Immortals push quite damn hard.
Same mistake from the previous engagement. They have no business here. Like the Lich putting the armor and the Razor trying to clear the creep. I think that's as much as they could do. But if the Razor died, everyone has to back. Committing that was just a big mistake here. I think this is just Rex. This is pretty much Rex. Big mistake here by Mineski.
Well, like punishing it as well by
They
Immortals.
have to just give up the tower though and just try to clear the creeps and slowly play the game. But right now, Rex is down, so the game is really hard right now.
I mean, Mushi knows what his job is. He's just going to keep on farming. There's nothing really that he can do to help him out up there in the bottom lane. So the first lane of barracks is going to fall. QO ready to commit for it. We'll see if he decides to dive. I have a feeling that's going to be no. Just finish off all of your BKBs, head out, and then come back stronger for the second round.
So Aegis has another 2 minutes, right? 1 to 2 minutes. They probably can actually just get another tower here.
Well, with Mushi having the Manta style down now,
still not enough though.
No. I mean, he can kind of come in at the end of the fights and like clean things up a little bit maybe if people are low, big mana void. Is that
It's
any
possible.
value?
It's possible.
Okay.
But he still wants to get another item, I would say. I think Butterfly probably good here for him, or actually if the game becomes too hard for him, he might have to get a BKB, or I'm not sure. I think BKB is also not going to be enough. He needs Butterfly, otherwise he can't fight the PA and the Brood.
I mean, he sure as hell can't just like stand toe to toe with any of them. I feel like
the game is probably going to be very close to over soon. If they make, I think one more mistake, the game is just over for Mineski.
Okay. Well, you can see what their thoughts are. Mineski keeping these lanes pushed out constantly, and I'm just hoping that they can extend it to the later stages. Do have like a Midas on Visage. These little things that can, you know, maybe find some solace in, but it's tough. Game is hard. They spot out Febby underneath this ward.
Don't think they can do much about it though.
Yeah.
I think even if they were to use the Echo to kill him, if Earthshaker was there, that might not even be a good decision because they might just push right after your Echo's down.
Right.
He has to use the Echo to hold the Rags right for now. I don't think getting a solo pick off with the Echo would be even a good idea for Shaker here.
Oh man, and you know, like, I mean, the Aegis expires, but as it expires, you also have a Diffusal Blade down on PA, Nyx Assassin, Blink Force, so Febby's going to be able to help his team out of difficult positions. All in all, it feels like they have a lot of the items that they need to finish this game off, and it doesn't get a whole lot easier for Mineski unless there's a big flub by Immortals. And granted, we have seen them make some questionable decisions in the past, you know, a little bit at this event, but this one feels very well in the bag. The 12,000 net worth lead.
Mushi is their only hope right now. They're just counting on him. We hope that Mushi carry us. They're just saying that. Well, he needs a good Echo Slam for that to happen.
All right, Jabs. It's the time, it's the place, it's the moment. There it is. They're going to walk forward. No, the Impale, though, it's already caught Jabs, and he's already down. Okay. Completely dead. Razor is gone as well. A double kill. There was never really a chance. Ninja Boogie, they get the Eul Scepter lift up, and QO going to execute the poor Lich. Even gets the Chain Frost off, but to no avail.
Oh my god, so only one buyback. I guess Earthshaker will have time to respawn, but that's still a very heavy loss. Chain Frost is down. Did they pop the BKB?
They did pop the BKB of QO. Frev doesn't have his yet, so maybe now is the point. Like, you know, you get them to use a lot of ultimates. They don't have the Chain Frost, but Lich is already dead anyway, so it kind of doesn't end up mattering. Jabs walking forward. They're looking to try and break Blink Daggers, but haven't done it as of yet. And Pale, a little bit off the mark, it caught onto the Razor, but that's it for now. Now walking forward, Jabs looking for an Echo Slam, but MP, he found him already, and that's the silence. Jabs getting his Blink broken. He can't find the initiation that he wants. There's maybe an opportunity here walking around the Winter's Curse. They just destroy their buddy. Ice killed off inside the duration of that ulti, and oh, it's just not feeling like they have an opportunity to play their game. They never really did. And well, another jump forward. There's going to be the coil, the kill, the Echo Slam, nothing.
What a well-played game by Immortals. What a well-drafted lineup here with the last pick route.
Yeah, good game is called. And
Kyo is just a beast on this hero, man.
He knows it well. Is there a better PA in the world? I don't think there's a better PA in the world. What do you think?
No, his movement with this hero, he understands the hero very well. Like the way he plays, the way he moves, he understands, oh, okay, this is a period where I'm super strong. I'm not going to farm, I'm just going to run around the jungle trying to get heroes, trying to kill heroes, you know. He's just very, very well suited as a character and a player.
And you see that little shot right there as well of you know, Mineski at the end, and it's not really much to say after a loss like that, right? It's just the Brood Brother last pick.
No, they still wins games. They still had their chance to win the game, though. I felt like they were forcing it too much. Number one, the Roshan, when they gave away one kill with the Razor, and after that, they could have just still push out the lanes, try not to avoid fighting. They were just too forcing, like they were like too nervous about fighting. They felt like they needed to make space for AM, but instead they could just push out the waves and everything will be fine.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one game away, Immortals looking to punch their ticket to the grand finals of the PGL Minor. We'll be back in just a little bit. First, we're going to send it off to a break and see what the panel thought about that game number one.